Monique, former Trump chief of staff and fellow co-defendant Mark Meadows is fighting to move his trial from Georgia to federal court in Washington, D.C. Why do you think Trump hasn't made the same request to move his?
Because they're sitting back and watching and seeing if it's successful. If it's successful for Meadows, then it will be successful for certainly the president, because the arguments are the same. And also because there's no way that the former president, who lies the same way that he breathes, could get on the stand as Meadows did, which still, I'm staggered by the fact that they did it, but there's no way that the former president in a similar hearing could take the stand and testify in his own behalf. And there's nobody else who's going to step forward and do it. So they didn't really have a choice but to sit back and watch and see if the stand that Meadows took and see if the favorability with the judge is such that the law is on his side, in which case it will surely be for the president.
David, Meadows is arguing that election interference in Georgia fell within his official duties, according to him. Author Chris Whipple calls that a warning for Trump's second term. He says, quote, all guardrails will be gone. Your thoughts?
Oh, I agree with that opinion. I mean, if Donald Trump gets elected, I think he will strain the Constitution in ways we have not yet imagined. And there's a question whether or not we end his 4 years intact as the republic that we started at. You know, in terms of Mark Meadows' argument, look, I think he is threading a needle and hoping for a favorable outcome. The layperson would say this doesn't make any sense. You're a government official, but you are interfering with candidate Trump's campaign fortunes. There's no way that makes sense. There are some arguments he's been making. Julian, you served, and so you know this. A chief of staff could take the position that, look, I did everything the president did. I followed him everywhere he went. My job was to support him. Perhaps he can thread the needle there. But it kind of defies logic that a government official interfering in a campaign suggests that somehow that was in furtherance of their government job. That is what he wants, because he absolutely wants this removed to federal court.
Desiree, my last question is for you. Governor Kemp actually broke with his fellow Republicans by allowing the Fulton County case to continue. How do you see that divide in the Georgia GOP factoring into the 2024 race?
I absolutely see a divide because Governor Kemp understands what it's like to be on the opposite side of Donald Trump's good side. And so unlike what's happening in Florida with Governor DeSantis, Governor Kemp has decided to draw a line in the sand. I don't know how long that will play out, but at least we're seeing good behavior right now. What we do know is that a lot of Republican Secretary of States and a lot of other Republican governors are going to side with Trump because he continues to lead the Republican race. So my question is, for Republicans, what happens and what do you do, and where is your moral compass going to be once we reach the general election time?